The moment the sun dropped, our grandparents followed a rule they never argued with, never rushed and never skipped. No thermostats, no apps, no fancy insulation charts, just a quiet sequence of actions that decided whether the house stayed warm till morning or bled heat into the dark. This wasn't superstition. It was survival-level wisdom. And once you see how it worked, you'll never look at nighttime warmth the same way again. Welcome back to Ancient Roots Uncovered, where old habits expose modern blind spots. Let's get straight into it. Heat was captured before it was guarded. The rule didn't start at night. That's the part people forget. Grandparents understood one thing deeply. You cannot protect warmth you never trapped in the first place. During daylight hours, homes were opened strategically. Sun-facing windows stayed uncovered. Heavy curtains were pulled back early and wide. Walls, floors, and thick furniture absorbed heat slowly, like thermal batteries charging up. Stone, brick, clay timber, packed earth. These materials weren't chosen for beauty. They were chosen because they drank in warmth and released it gradually. By late afternoon, the house itself had become a storage unit for heat. This mattered because once night arrived, there was no chasing warmth, only keeping what you already earned. The moment the sun dipped, everything changed. Here's where the rule became sacred. As soon as daylight weakened, windows were shut. Not later, not after dinner, not when it felt cold. Immediately. Because, you know, heat loss doesn't wait for discomfort. It happens silently, minute by minute, through glass, cracks and moving air. Curtains were drawn while the rooms still felt warm. Thick ones, heavy ones, sometimes layered. Fabric was insulation before insulation had a name. That simple act could reduce heat loss through windows by a shocking margin, especially in older homes where glass was thin and frames leaked air. Doors between rooms were closed too, not for privacy, for containment. Warmth was treated like water. You don't let it spill everywhere if you want depth. You know, nighttime air was the enemy, not the cold itself. This is where, honestly, ancient thinking beats modern instinct. Cold doesn't enter a home on its own, not really. Moving air does. Drafts, well, they steal heat faster than low temperatures ever could. That's why, I tell you, grandparents obsessed over sealing the house at night. Rugs went down over bare floors. Rolled cloth blocked door gaps. Chimneys were damped once fires died. Even unused rooms were sealed off completely, turning the living space into a compact heat zone. They weren't trying to heat the whole house, not at all. They were shrinking the battlefield. Smaller, warm spaces stay warm longer, and honestly, that rule hasn't aged a day. Bedding was engineered, not decorative. Grandparents didn't rely on room heat to survive the night. They built warmth directly into sleep. You know, multiple layers mattered more than thickness. Trapped air between blankets is what holds heat, not weight alone. Wool, cotton and feather weren't chosen by tradition. They were chosen because they breathe while insulating. Beds were positioned away from exterior walls when possible. Headboards acted as thermal buffers. Nightcaps existed for a reason. Heat escapes fast from the head. Covering it conserved body warmth dramatically, especially in unheated rooms. The bedroom wasn't warmed overnight, the body was. Fires were timed, not trusted. Another lost skill. Fire management. Grandparents didn't stoke fires endlessly into the night. They let the structure do the work. Fires were burned hot earlier in the evening, heating walls and hearthstones. Those materials released warmth slowly, long after flames faded. Keeping a low fire all night wastes fuel and increases heat loss through chimneys. A hot early burn followed by sealing the house was far more efficient. This wasn't guesswork. It was learned over generations of cold mornings. The rule didn't end at sunrise. Windows stayed shut until the outside air warmed enough to justify opening them. Cold morning air could undo an entire night of heat conservation in minutes. Grandparents waited. They felt the air. They listened to the house. Only when conditions improved did ventilation return. Heat first, fresh air second, always in that order. Why modern homes lost this wisdom? Central heating changed behaviour, not physics. Thermostats gave the illusion of control while encouraging waste. Rooms are heated and abandoned. Windows are cracked open while heaters run. Warmth is generated constantly instead of conserved intelligently. Ancient homes worked with heat. Modern homes fight it. The overnight warmth rule was simple. Capture heat during the day. Seal the house before sunset. Shrink warm spaces. Block moving air. Layer the body. Let materials do the slow work. Wake up warm without chasing warmth all night. That's not nostalgia. That's efficiency. Why this rule still matters today. Energy prices rise. Power fails. Climate swings harder every year. The old rule isn't about going backward, it's about understanding fundamentals we stopped respecting. Heat behaves the same way it always has. Air still moves. Materials still store warmth. Bodies still lose heat fastest at rest. The difference is knowledge. And once you have it, comfort stops being expensive. This is the kind of wisdom that doesn't trend. It endures. If this changed how you think about warmth, make sure you subscribe to Ancient Roots Uncovered. Share this with someone who still cranks the heater all night and wakes up cold anyway. Old rules didn't survive because they were old. They survived because they worked.